3 hams will certainly kill him. 3 hams.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Casual Chat. I know before we had one that was kind of called the Casual Chat. This is the Casual Chat. Why the Casual Chat, not Big O Part 2? 2 reasons. One, I need to re-watch Big O Part 2. And I've been preoccupied with other shows like Borgia, which I gotta say is really good. But it's one of those shows that you watch and you constantly want to scream out, "You're a fucking dick," because they are. A lot of them are, and it's all. And my wife even said, "This show makes me feel like a bad Christian." But I'm like, honey, these guys are all killing all each other for no reason. That guy's trying to kill somebody because he saved his son's life. We're better Christians than that. But the other reason this is brought up is, well, 2 other reasons. One is I would like to talk about a little adventure we went on recently. We went to a theater here called the Orion, which is part of Mickey's Pub. And we got to enjoy it for the first time. It's an adults-only movie theater. And it's not all porn, because it's a regular movie theater. It's just connected to a bar. And it's awesome. You walk in, you can order drinks, or you can go ahead and order drinks as soon as you sit down in the theater itself. You've got a little tray table that goes up to you and you're like, oh, that's wonderful. You've got waitresses that come to you just at a push of a button. You can eat food, you can drink beer as you're watching a movie. And the movie we got to watch was Star Trek Into Darkness, which I gotta say honestly, to those of you out there who have not seen it, go see it. It wasn't as lens flary as the first one, which I'm happy about because I didn't want to see all the lens flares just hitting you in the face. But it was very well done. They did a perfect job with the gentleman who plays Sherlock Holmes, who played, I won't give it away, but those of you who have read the spoilers and the forums and all that, or who have seen it, know who he plays. Zachary Quinto does a really good job as Spock, and I mean, they pick good people for this. There's huh?
Scotty.
And my wife, tell him love, Scotty, right? She's shy. Scotty, Simon Pegg, she really likes him. He did a wonderful job, and it didn't hurt that we went to it and I was wearing my engineering Starfleet badge and was wearing a red shirt, so yeah, it was nice. But it was the first theater that I've ever been to that I got to listen to the whole thing. There was no crying children, no crying babies, no kids talking, no people going, "Oh, you girl, you need to," people talking on their cell phones. There was none of that. It was all mature adults. And it was wonderful. I gotta say, I'm going there from now on. Yeah, it's like $12 a pop to go in, and that's just for a regular movie. But you know what? If I can watch a movie without kids screaming, without people answering their cell phones, without people just being nuisances, I'll do it. I'll go for it. The second part I'd like to talk about is, for those of you who DM games, you know how you put everything out, and I've done this before, but this recently happened with one of the games that I've run. And I do Dresden. Recently we've done a 40 Years in the Future Dresden Files. We're doing it underneath the Guardians of the Order Tristat formula. Mind, Body, Soul. And everything's doing pretty well. Everybody's had some great roles. I've had some great roles. Some people haven't had some very good roles. But, you know, it's a learning thing. And what's been going on is we've got a White Court vampire who is in control of the local territory, and she has gotten the group to work for her. And everything's going all right, you know. Then it turns out Red Court is back. Now, I'm not going to spoil a lot of stuff for everybody. Read the Dresden Files books. They're very good. I've got the entire series up on our bookshelf. My wife is reading them over, and I try not to spoil things for her, because I know if I do, I'm going to probably get punched in the arm or have to sit out in a tent that's very, very small. And I did that once for fun. It was not fun. And now it's my punishment if I do something wrong. So yeah. But in this situation, we've got two Fae, a human mage, a shifter, a vampire hunter, and a person who is just very strong. And they all go in with a group of Order of St. Giles shows up. They tell them that they are going to help with trying to find the house. The guys who show up, I told them this is what they look like and this is what they are. You've got the guys from Red and Mr. Rogers. And they look like it. The guy who is that they first meet up looks like Mr. Rogers, sweater and all. He brings in three guys. You've got a guy who looks like Bruce Willis from Red, Morgan Freeman from Red, and John Malkovich from Red. And just like their characters, John Malkovich is the crazy one. The one that goes with them to try to find the Red Court is John Malkovich. As they go in, John Malkovich starts waving a little UV light around, trying to see if he can find any markings of where to find the Red Court vampires. Because like in Blade, they had a marking, a UV marking that you couldn't see. They're looking for it. Well, he finds a house, finds a little marking on a doorknob with this little tiny pen light, and finds it, decides we're going to go ahead and check this out. They go inside. The door's not locked. They go in, they search the house. Looks like a normal house until they go downstairs, which they find the family. The mother has been half turned. The father is basically broken. He's laying against the wall, handcuffed. There's two children downstairs. One child is crying, the other one is just, deadpan stare. It's just a really bad thing. They get into a lot of fights. I got to say, I love the fact that they rolled so well, and I didn't have to do anything like this is what they're going to do. But they did very well on it. It wasn't an easy battle for them. There was some times where they thought it was going to be a little hairy. But everything was going all right. They even did it very well. Part of the group took the father and the kids back upstairs, put them in their truck, because they came in a big old truck, and decided he was going to stay up there to guard them, which I've never seen that with this group. Usually, even when I play with them, not as a DM or a GM, I usually play as just the just a character, and usually our group will go in, kill it, and that's it. Clear the room, loot the bodies. But we were doing really well. They were guarding the family. Well, they found out there was a lot more vampires in there, so he decided to stay up there. Another person came up after they killed the main vampire down below, and once he noticed what was going on, he freaked out too. Well, one of the weapons they brought with them was actually brought by Bruce Willis. Was what is known as a room clearer. The room clearer is a weapon I decided to use in case of, because they would have this in Dresden Files, where it would basically coat the room with napalm and burn it down. In fact, give me one moment. It's my little booklet. The Room Clearer. Portable napalm bomb launcher. 10 ammo balls. Shoots into the middle of the room. The bomb goes off and coats everything with gel. Then ignites. All inside are charred and killed. If the shooter is not careful, so are they. The weapon is about 20 years old. Kept in storage. Roll 1d6. Roll a 6. Ultimate fail. Bomb goes off in the weapon. The holder has to roll to see if they are doused or just burned. Roll 6. Insta-death. 1 to 5 just burns for 20 points of damage, which on a low-level character could also mean death. 5 to 4, dud, doesn't go off. Roll 3, dud, gets stuck in the gun, so the gun's worthless at that point. 2, fires and goes off, fire damage for 30 points, 5 points per round. Again, but with a lot of the characters they were fighting, that wouldn't have hurt a lot of them. Even the low-level vampires had 90 points of damage. 1, insta-death. Now, I say that because they left one of the guns in the truck, and I totally forgot that they did that. I actually had to ask them if that's what happened. And the one that was just a very powerful fighter had decided to take one out, and I said, well, remember, if you shoot it, it's going to explode and cover everything with gel. And he goes, that's all right. I'm going to carry everybody back in the house. Well, he's very strong, so he carried everybody back into the house and fired. I'm like, okay, he made it very well. He made his shot very well. And I said, okay, roll another d6. I didn't tell him anything about the gun other than, of course, the damage it does and how it worked. So that way, of course, it's like, I'm going to shoot this, boom, boom, and everybody's dead. No, he's like, okay, I'm going to shoot it now. He shoots. Mates it. I'm like, great! Roll another d6. Because I want to see how this plays out. Well, he rolls the d6. And he gets a 1. And I get up from my chair. I pat him on the shoulder. And everybody's looking at me like, what's going on? What happened? And I explain that the bomb arced into the air, landed in the middle of the vampires and exploded, coating all of them. And a few cars on the street. After it coated everything, it went off. The heat from the explosion set off the cars. After it set off the cars, it set off basically everything else up there. So everything died. I looked at the gentleman, his name is Howie. I just said, good job. Shook his hand and went from there. Because really, I was planning a lot more stuff to happen, but that didn't happen. So, tonight, what I get to do, because I've been kind of putting it off, is try to figure out what to do next for this group. Because like I said, I was going to plan out something of how they got out of there. Because there was about 120 Red Court vampires there, full-fledged. So I had to figure out how they were going to get out. And that was going to be like a dun-dun-dun next time. But they found their way out. So tonight, this is another reason why there's the casual chat, is I've got to work on that. Because tomorrow's game night, or by the time you see this video, tonight's game night, and I'm still GMing. I'm still doing the dress. So, a few things I leave you with. One, when you do GM a game, and you have a certain storyline you're trying to get everything through, You're not going to get that done. No. You need to realize that the story you're trying to tell will never ever come to what you want it to be. Unless, of course, you're one of those GMs that is so strict that you do not let anybody have fun. And we've all been in games like that before, and it's a bunch of bullshit. However, sometimes it is interesting to see people who play those games that are so stuck up on what they're going to actually do, what they have to do. But you know what? It's alright. So, I leave you with a few words of wisdom for this weekend. One, remember that no matter what you do, as a GM, you have people that are working with you. And they will definitely make it so that you are not going to get exactly what you want. Two, in those few cases where you do get what you want, it is going to be sheer luck, or people are going to look at you really weird. And the last one, if you are going to GM a game, try to make sure that you have all your info, all your stats, and your booklets readily available. Because one of the things that we're always good at is calling bullshit on the GM when he really doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I've done that. People have done that to me. But hey, that's alright. Next week, I do promise, we will have Big O Part 2. Like I said, I've just been caught up with other things for you. I also went ahead and got to watch a movie over on Netflix called Daywatch. For those of you who have not seen it, watch it. If those of you who have watched it, it's great. Read the books. Night Watch, Day Watch, Twilight Watch. Read the books. Very good. I don't know if they're ever going to make a Twilight Watch movie. I really hope they do. But if they don't, it's alright. So, until next time, have a wonderful weekend, and may the dice roll in your favor. Until next time.
Time for go to bed.
Well said.